we've treated this as a bank holiday here in England. It would be a bank holiday, as I think is probably in most of the world. I was just checking my door was shut so that I could concentrate on you completely. So how have you been? How was yesterday? I know that many people probably will have just toned down because it's kind of like Easter, even though we're still at home and we're probably not going very far. But just really in the sense of where we are and how you are today. What is really interesting for me today is the color of the aura. Maybe because I've been connecting more with my heart and just paying a little bit of attention. Yes, I was thinking very much about what Good Friday means for me. And yes, as a person that grew up Catholic, of course, it is about looking at what the death of Jesus was all about. But I think there's a deeper level that's going on, which this year seems to be particularly pertinent with the coronavirus, because part of Good Friday is about death. It's about death. It's about letting go of stuff that we no longer need, that no longer serves us, that keeps us separate from our source, the Creator, God, if you want to use those words. But it is what Good Friday is about. And I was thinking those thoughts. I sent out quite a few messages this morning. But I really started to think, what is it that's so important for me? And yes, there was someone that was a beautiful being that is the Sacred Heart that died on the cross for some purpose of helping save us. And then it was just thinking about, how do things save us? How do we make meaning in the world that we then change? So yes, the coronavirus, it happened. It's the same as perhaps what happened to humans, thousands and thousands and thousands of mistakes until DNA happened, that we got life happening. So, and then becoming human or becoming more of who we are was all parts of those corrections of the genes to kind of create something. And as it started to create, it started to then procreate and, to get, I say procreate, but it's not the word that I wanted to say, procreate. And then you got more differentials and you got more perfection as we became more and more. But here, this is the aura. I mean, this is just beautiful. So I'm going to show you. You may not see it very clearly. I'm going to switch the light out. But it is pretty much pure pink. Gold is at the bottom. There's no blue, just slight purple over this area. Slightly, I mean really ever so slightly, but the predominance of it is pink and gold. And that made me really think about more what is the passion and the beingness of the purpose of what this is all about. Good Friday and Sunday, Holy Sunday, is really about redemption. I'm going to put the light on. It's really about redemption, right? So we go into the dark night of the soul, we cut away all the crap, and what do? Is we come out like the phoenix arising in a new form, in a new state of being. Yeah. So it's not necessarily just about Jesus. It's the message that is happening as a result of that. So, okay. So let's just start with today and look at what we want to clear away, what we want to find a path of a new truth, a new sense of meaning, so that we can move and rise like the phoenix on Easter Sunday. Now, for some people, that's, if you're not religious, then that's okay. Just use it as a pathway, as a spiritual inner journey that will allow you to move from one state into clearing into the new state of the being you want to be for the next year. Now, every day, every week, we have a newness that starts. So from Sunday, we start moving into the week again. And from Sunday to Saturday, you end up having a cycle. So we have these cycles every year. We have New Year, and we start a cycle of a year. Every month, we have a cycle. Every week, we have a cycle. Every day, we have a cycle. So it's really about recognizing these cycles that give us the ability to be able to monitor, see where we're going, because time allows us to know where we've been and where we're going. Yeah. Okay. So let's kind of use time in a different way here. Time when we close our eyes very often collapses time. And funny things happen when we close our eyes. We don't see difference. We don't see difference. When we close our eyes, we recognize that we are all the same. Yeah. So we learn to see the space differently, and we realize that the space is connected. When we look with our eyes and use what we call foveal vision, I can see this is an iPad and it's separate from me. I can pick it up, I can hold it, and I know, okay? But when I close my eyes, I have to use other senses. But when I close my eyes, there's a difference, there's a commonality that if it's there, it is something that is different. It's more about a different sense. And it's about recognizing that we can actually start to work with ourselves in a very different way, with others in a very different way. All right, so we're connected in the darkness, which is very much kind of like we have darkness 24 hours, we have 12 hours of darkness every day. Yeah. And we have 12 hours of sunlight. So 12 hours where we can kind of not see. So we get to go into that realm of darkness where we find out about a different kind of dynamic. And then we have a lightness, which gives us another dynamic. Very often, the lightness fools us because it shows separation rather than the connection. Okay, just an interesting thought. Okay, so you know what to do. We have two scales. We have a happiness scale and we have a distress scale. So you can do this to increase your levels of happiness. And by doing that, you want to make sure that you're on the scale, that you know where you are. One of the things that's really important is to recognize what you mean by happiness. Happiness is how all powerful people either interrupt negative or initiate new experiences super successfully. They do this almost like a switch. They go from negative, they eliminate negative, and they initiate a new experience almost simultaneously. And that is where we move between space and time. All right, that's where we change everything, and that happens every breath that we take. As we breathe in and we hold slightly, we create that time. Right? We create that moment that allows us to be different. It allows us to stop and switch a negative and create a positive. Right? I don't like to say negative and positive actually, but think about it as a charge and you'll see that it works in that way. All right, so that's Terry. She's just come in. Hello, Terry, if you've come in. Nice to see you. So the thing to really pay attention to is that interrupting and instigating new experiences. So how do we do that? And how do we then use the feeling that we experience to inform us about what's going on? All right. Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, happiness first, let's go with a happiness. What level of happiness are you? And just remember that if you're not an 8 to 10, and if it is a euphoric, I'm so happy, that is not full happiness. All right. Happiness is where you are okay no matter what. all right? No matter what. So it's a state of contentment, of calmness, of serenity, of just having deep, deep, deep knowing that you are okay, that you have a right to be here. You have a sense of presence. That is when you are a 10, all right? Anything else is likely to go up and down quite a lot. So where are you on the scale of that state of calm, of bliss, of contentment, of just serene happiness, right? If you're a 6 or 5 or a 4, kind of notice what is the difference between the gap. So what's happening? What's the bit between 0 and 6 maybe? Kind of what's stopping you and keeping you only at a 6. So how full is that? What is it that's there? And what's stopping you from being the fullness of that serene you, right? The second scale to pay attention to, if you are focusing and at the moment you've got some sort of discomfort, some sort of distress, fear, anxiety, any of those kinds of things, just notice what that is. And then just got to get a sense, well, what would take me to a 0? So 0 would be neutral and 10 would be most distressing. The same in the happiness scale, 0 is neutral and 10 is the most happy you can be. So on the scale of 10 for the distressing, just notice where you are right now and then have a link. What would make it a 10 what would make it a 0 for neutral in the distress scale? What would make it a neutral? All right. So, and then where are you on that scale? So what's keeping you from being neutral? So pay attention to that. Or what is keeping you in the anxiety? All right? Just kind of get a sense. Take a moment. And one of the good things is to just take a minute. Just breathe very deeply. Hold the breath for a second because that's the in-between moment. Then breathe out. Ground yourself, bring yourself down into your hips, into that wider part of you. Just ground yourself down to your feet. And then what I'd like you to do is to just expand yourself for a minute to the whole of the room. And maybe as you do that, you can just bring that very wise part of you, that part of you that knows, that is, that always has been, that wise part of you that thinks about herself now and says, what's the advantage of being my age now? What is the advantage of being my age now? And has a look at that wisdom that comes with it. Because it's that wisdom that will give you all that you need when we do this work. All right? Good. Okay, I'm just sliding a little bit closer. Okay, so you've got that. So now I want you to get a sense of the feeling. Okay, notice where it is. Put your hand on it if you can. Get a sense of what it looks like, what its shape is, color. Is it heavy? Is it light? Get some sensory information about it. Good. All right. Well done. Okay, let's start. So EFT, we're trying to balance the left and the right side of the brain. We're doing a yin and a yang, and we're bringing it into center. We're bringing thoughts down to earth, right? Because in the heart, we can purify the thought. We can come with passion and compassion so that we can do whatever we need to do in order to be who we need to be, right? Okay, points. You probably know them already now, but top of the eyes, sides of the eyes, under the nose, and on the chin. You can do it either way. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just really nice to just do this. On your scapula, on your chest, and you can go under, right, under your arms. Quite nice, that one. And then top of your head. And then you do the cycle again. But we always start with a karate chop, which is a heart point. all right, on the sides of the hands. And the hands have huge amounts of somatic, dense nerves, because we do so much with our hands. And it means it takes a huge part of our brain. Our face and our hands take a huge part of spatial mapping within the motor and sensory motor cortex. So whenever we do something with our hands, we actually transfer a lot in our brain, right? Okay, so good. So start with a truth of what is a reality we got to acknowledge. And then we want a deeper truth about yourself. All right. So even though I have this feeling, and for me, I'm actually quite good. So I'm about a 7 in happiness. So it'd be nice to have a little more of an 8 or a 9, even though I'm at a 7 in happiness. And I really would like it to be a 10. I totally love and trust myself anyway. So you can use your negative feeling. So even though I'm feeling scared and I don't know what to do, I totally love and trust myself anyway. All right, so you get the gist of it. And even though I want it to be that, and it may change and it may not, I choose to love myself anyway. And even though I am in a space that I have no idea what is going to happen or who I might lose, those that I love, I totally love and trust myself anyway. Good. 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 Well done. All right. Let's go to the top. These feelings inside of me, they are part of me, but I really, really don't know what to do. Under the nose. They keep happening to me, and I don't know why. I really would like to set myself free. So on the clavicle, but I don't know how to clear all the stuff. I don't know exactly why it won't go. Because even though, in my case, I have a happiness scale that's high, I'm not a 10 yet all the time. And I may not be. But I love myself anyway. That is true. I can appreciate myself. Besides, because I know something very strange that perhaps I haven't realized before, that even when I'm anxious, it is my inner self, that glorious self, that wants me to survive. And maybe it's just that I haven't appreciated it yet. I haven't appreciated it for what it's trying to tell me. So today, I'm just going to spend a little time not trying to change anything, but to learn and to grow and to be. So I'll take a little time to think about what are the things that I need to really focus on? What are the things that are not truthful, the things I'm telling myself? And really going to look deeply in. Top of the eyes. I'm going to take time. There's no right or wrong here. If you get stuck on one of these points, it's no problem. I'm going to take time to look so deep that I can find the gold dust inside. Because I truly, truly, truly understand now sides of the eyes. I can truly see that that feeling has always had me in mind. Under the eyes, I can see the problem has been that I have thought that I am separate from it. I have been fighting it for so long. Under the eyes, just really look, and on the nose. And I realize now that I have been absolutely, completely wrong. And I'm so glad to notice. And I know that it's tricky. I know it's easy to just jump away. But I also know that as I look and take care, I can see another way. So really taking a moment or two to go inside and recognize that wonderful you, that only job has been, its only fear has been to take care of you. That's its only fault. And that it's been you that's been rejecting it, not the other way around. So taking a moment to really sink into that wide center part of you and let yourself come to your heart and connect deeply with you. Because it's true. This is the only place that you can change you, to transform you, to transmute whatever it is that is within you, to work for you, to give it new purpose. So we're just going to go in the heart. Remember, we're going to do the binary star because I really love allowing ourselves to understand. And I was looking at something about the dear old coronavirus. Yes. And we all have a corona because you know something, our aura is kind of like a corona around our body. Okay, interesting. So if that's the case, then there's something about how these things come in, how they affect us, how they reduce our immunity. So just kind of get a sense. And in a way, a thought is exactly the same, yeah? Because a thought slips in. Anxiety slips in. Discontentment slips in. Because guess what? It has the ability to just click in. Because it has the right lock, the right key. And the interesting thing about the coronavirus, which is interesting, is that there's a protein that normally needs to be converted. And in this case, it's already converted so it can go and infect. But if you think about a negative thought in you that's unhelpful to you, then that negative thought has a little special thing. It's already primed to infect other thoughts. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go with that idea. Let's think how we learn, in a sense, if we learn a little bit about what something does, and then how does that apply to a thing that we exist inside ourselves so that we can shift and change it, right? Okay, so the thing that we really need to be sure too, so within our body, in ourselves, there's something about making sure that there's a high resonance inside the cell so that if something does attach itself, it just kind of gets shaken off, all right? But also that there's this high enough resonance that it can actually transmute whatever comes close to it. So if it's in its presence, have you ever been in a presence of someone that's just loved? You just kind of feel so uplifted. You know that you're just not going to do that. You transform, you transmute. And there are people that you can be in company of and you transform in that moment. So you can transform a virus into something completely different. So let's work on just transforming, allowing yourself to build the resonance within your body, build the immune system, and you can have it like a little network market. Let's think about it like an ultimate little network marketing system. You know, one is where you get it to buy, and if it doesn't want to buy, you move it off. And if you want it to buy into transformation, you keep it. Yeah? All right. We can use an analogy for everything. All right. Let's go on the top. Okay, we've got the high heart. The high heart. This is the pure part. This is the part that is all about love. This is the part about says me, not me. This is the part about dissolving boundaries. This is the part that can dissolve, listen to it, the virus boundary so that it can transmute. It doesn't have to do and hold its own. Yeah. If we dissolve the boundary outside your cell, then it has to transform. Okay. Okay, so thinking about this is a part that you can have too. Remember, I said like a networking market, you can have take your immune system out, which does the bit of scouting and having a look and checking out, and then you can make a decision. You can have particular parts of the immune system around the cell, kind of like deciding, guess what, we're going to sing around our cells and we're going to transmute the virus. So you can work on two fronts. Okay. Okay, so mine today, yep, it's still purple, but it's purple, pink, and white, and it's swirling around. This is like a binary star now. Let it swirl around, and as it swirls around, like a cafe wheel, it comes down also into the low heart. So I'm seeing two swirls, and they're creating what is like a pulsar, and it's going around in a figure of 8. That's it, perfect, perfect, perfect. Excellent. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Figure of 8, figure at 8. Okay, and you know your low heart is the part that is born first. It is the only organ. It's the first organ. It's the organ that is a giving and a receiving, but it's the organ that started the first pulsation in your body, the first vibration that created your aura. Yeah. Your corona, if you want to kind of talk about it like that. It created your corona. So you could imagine yourself as that egg having this corona. If you look at an egg in a uterus, you can see it has a corona of blood vessels, yeah, that go and embed in a mother's womb. Yeah, it's a corona. So there you are. And it has to have, you know, an egg has to fight basically the mom's immune system, and it has to learn to cooperate so that it can exist. So it's really about recognizing right from the very first you've had a way in to protect yourself, but also to be part of. And your heart, remember your heart, the first part of your heart, the first set of arteries that come off your heart from the aorta go back to your heart to feed your heart. So everything is about feeding you first. Your body made sure that it did the most important thing. It fed you first before you went and fed everybody else. Okay. So I want you to just really focus on this pulsation and just really getting that nice and strong, getting a nice rhythm. You might want to go slower, faster, just whatever feels right for you. Ba-bum. Because our heart beats like that. It goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. In general, a good heart, because that's what a heart does. It's got to squeeze and it's got to fill. It's got to squeeze and it's got to fill and squeeze and fill. And that's what it does. So it receives and it gives. By contracting, it gives. And as it receives, it opens up. So as you imagine it going around your body, connecting all the highways, giving to all the cells, imagining those beautiful cells, your nice cells, feeling healthy and happy, and they're singing to themselves. You might have a rhythm for yourself. Oh, I've got again, another feeling going down the left side of my arm, which is interesting. Oh, I'm just going to notice what it means, what it does. And okay, just curious. My thought is these are wings, but this is just a thought that came up for me. Just kind of notice your thoughts, what's going on. And then find that part of you that has been either, not quite in the serene happiness part, or the part that's feeling a kind of a little kind of, okay, I'm not quite as happy as I want to be, and just send the love. When you were in uterus, all you had was the sound of your mother's heartbeat and the warmth of the amniotic fluid. So just go and give that part that. And as you do that, ask it, what does it feel? Knowing that it was created, that its real intention, like an animal, like anything, is always about wanting to take care of you. What does it feel? What does it want? And just acknowledge it. No fixing, no doing anything, just do that. And then, isn't that nice? I don't know why I keep getting burps when it comes to doing this work. It's like something like little bubbles of joy come up. Okay, so then bring that back into your heart, back somewhere where it's safe. And then I want you to make that star, that binary star. Remember, we want to give a mix of love and receiving. As we give to ourselves, we get energy, more and more energy. And we build that energy, crank it up, because we want to expand that energy. We want enough energy so that when we share it, think about someone you love. Send them love. And you can send love from your heart to their heart. And let love go from this binary star to go, sending the message of healing and transmutation. Expand it, expand it, expand it out from the front of you, behind you, above you, to the left, to the right of you. Then create. Now you know that corona, you want to create a 360 wave that's going to go out. And you might want to make a sound. You can go, or you can go, ah. You can make a sound, whatever it is that you want to do. Just allow it to just vibrate. You want to create. If the universe had a sound when it did a big bang, and when you hear quietly the sounds of the universe, what are you hearing? Ah. You are the universe. You are the universe. Be aware that you are the universe. Yes, allow yourself to recognize that. What would the universe sound like as you send this out? And guess what? As you send to everyone you recognize with your eyes shut, if your eyes are shut, you notice, oh yes, golly, golly, gosh, they're resonating too. And as they resonate and as they transmute, as they transform, transmute means we give it a new meaning. We change it in a very different way. We give it another purpose. We transmute it. We transfigure it. And I'm talking all about spiritual terms here, but just they're part of language. Let it move, let it move. There's a world within words. Transform it, and then allow their light to shine so brightly all around the earth, clearing the virus, changing the virus, letting the virus know you've learnt the lesson, you know what it is. We make meaning of everything. We make meaning, we will see how it applies to us because we're noticing, and if we're noticing, that is the reality we must pay attention to. And then just very gladly appreciate the energy coming back to you because guess what? Guess what? You're entitled to that energy. Your body has worked so hard to get you here from a single cell. It has struggled to get you here. It's grown and it's evolved and it's been. Oh yeah, you deserve this. You deserve this love. And as you receive it, you might feel it coming in through the solar plexus just below your heart. Feel it coming in. See it. And I don't know what color you might see it as. You might see it as gold or silver. You might see it as yellow or pinks or blues. It doesn't matter. For me, I'm seeing it as pink and gold. I'm seeing it come in pink and goldy yellow. And I'm putting it up into my heart and I'm letting it move out from my heart to your heart. From my mind to your mind, my heart to your heart, my body to your body, my resonance to your resonance. Yeah, you can see Star Trek is part of my life. Ha ha ha. Okay, good. Good. While you've built up all the energy now, I want you to take a deep breath in and out. Just hold your heart. Just feel the energy vibrating throughout your body. And what I would love you to feel, if you can feel it now, is to feel that you are just like one big resonant drum. One big resonant drum. And you feel it fully in your body. You feel it. And you can feel yourself vibrating. Like you can imagine that you are like a double helix. And it's just vibrating, woo, 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 like this. And you're sending out signals like the figure of eight, the eternal figure of eight, that binary star that's holding you, creating you, and just let it move everywhere. And then check your body and feel in your body. Does your body feel like that vast, big, empty space? Almost like the universe, the space itself. And just see if you can expand that beyond your corona, beyond your aura. So maybe 2 or 3 feet beyond your body. You may even be able to move it beyond that. I'm trying to see if I can get it beyond my room now. Just push it, push it, push it. And you might get a sense of a gentle vibration at the far ends and a very big, deep vibration. Good. Well done, you. Fan-fairy-tastic. Well done. Enjoy the rest of today. Be aware of what today is. It's about the cutting away. It's going in, looking at what doesn't serve you anymore. What do you need to transmute, to transfigure, to create? Yeah? Take care. That is the meaning of what the passion is. And it's interesting, we use the word passion. Coming with passion. The color pink, believe it or not. So take care. In the Catholic Church, that's the color they use, the purple, magenta, purple, pink color. All right, so take care. I can see that I've got a few things over here. If you watch, let me know what your rating was if you've done this today. Let me know how you felt at the end of it. If you can, like, share to anyone that you feel might benefit from this. I absolutely believe everyone will benefit no matter what, because there's more that we're doing here. It's not just about bouncing. We're learning how to deeply incorporate some of the things that we kind of don't know about our own bodies, and we're bringing it into the now, into the moment, to shift and change. Happy Good Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.